I never asked to be raised by a single mom. I'm getting married to a brilliant researcher, but I don't want anything to do with you. We're done here.
What's this about? A marriage announcement and cutting ties at the same time? Did something happen?
Nothing happened. I've just been thinking about this for a while. My fiancé and I are planning our future. And I realized you don't fit into it.
Could we talk about this in person? This seems very sudden.
No need for dramatics. Might as well be efficient about it. Though you probably don't understand efficiency, since you're not very bright.
That's a cruel thing to say. Where is this coming from?
My fiancé's family is incredibly accomplished. His mother is department chair at Harvard Medical. His father holds multiple patents. And then there's you.
I see. So this is about status?
Going to Stanford made me realize something. How low class my mother really is. And how amazing I am for reaching this level despite my background. Do you know how embarrassing it is to explain you to people?
You've certainly accomplished a lot. I know I was always working and couldn't be there enough, which meant you had to work even harder.
Don't try to take credit for my success. Having to explain that my mother is just a nurse. Do you know how that sounds in academic circles?
There's nothing shameful about being a nurse. We help people every day.
See, that's exactly what I mean. That small-minded thinking. We help people. So basic.
Nicole, you used to say you wanted to help people too. What changed?
I grew up. I realized I'm meant for bigger things. Being born into this family, I became a Stanford grad student despite all the obstacles. I'm going to be a leading force in medical technology. But that's all my achievement. You had nothing to do with it. If anything, you held me back.
What are you trying to say? That you succeeded in spite of me?
Finally, you're getting it. I'm going to be huge in the medical field and achieve great success. And I can't stand the thought of you getting any reflected glory as my mother. My fiancé's family asked about you. They wanted to know about your academic background, your achievements. Do you know how humiliating that was?
So you want to cut ties now before that happens? Before you have to introduce me to his family?
Exactly. You've only ever held me back, so I want to break free from that curse when I get married. And don't come to the wedding. I don't want you embarrassing me.
I raised you alone for 20 years. Even if you felt lonely sometimes, I don't deserve this kind of treatment. Think about what you're saying.
Already thought about it. I already told you I never asked to be raised. You did that for your own ego. Blaming your kid for your choices is pathetic. Besides, what kind of upbringing was it, really? Always coming home to an empty house? You were always working.
I was working to support us, to give you opportunities.
Oh, please. More like hiding from your responsibilities. Do you know what it's like to be the only kid whose mother never showed up for school events?
I came to your graduation, your science fairs. I try to be there for the important things.
How could you? Are we even really related? I'm going to be an elite medical researcher. Well, you're just some uneducated nobody. The genetic difference doesn't make sense.
Actually, I did work in healthcare, more than you know.
Yeah, as a nurse. I'm way above that. I'm developing the medical equipment that nurses use. Don't compare yourself to me. It's embarrassing.
You think being a nurse is beneath you? That caring for patients is somehow less important?
Don't try to guilt trip me. This is exactly why I'm cutting ties. You don't understand anything about the academic world. about real achievement.
I see. Do whatever you want. Nothing I say will make a difference. But someday, you might regret this.
Regret what? Finally breaking free? You should be grateful to have such an elite daughter. Oh wait, we're strangers now. And stop sending me money. I don't need it anymore. My fiancé's family has connections. They're going to support my research properly.
Gladly. Supporting you was quite a burden. I hope their connections serve you well.
Is that sarcasm? Are you trying to be clever? Wow, trying to act tough. How pathetic. I almost feel sorry for you. But you're not good enough to be my mother, so don't contact me again.
Remember what I taught you about kindness, about respecting others? Whatever happened to that girl?
That girl grew up. She realized the world doesn't run on kindness. It runs on excellence, on achievement, on being better than others.
Don't come crying to me when things go wrong, when you realize achievement isn't everything.
Things won't go wrong. I have everything planned out. My research will revolutionize the field. My marriage will secure my position. And you'll be nothing but a distant memory. A footnote in my success story.
Is that what you really want? To erase 20 years of your life?
20 years of mediocrity. 20 years of holding myself back. 20 years of explaining away my background. Yes, that's exactly what I want to erase.
One last thing. Are you happy? Truly happy?
Happy? I'm successful. That's better than happiness. Not that you'd understand. Goodbye, Amy. Don't try to contact me again. I've already blocked you on social media. This is your last chance to see how successful your daughter became. Before I cut you out completely.
Goodbye, Nicole. I hope you find what you're looking for.
I already found it. Success, prestige, recognition. Everything you couldn't provide. Everything you couldn't understand. This is the last message you'll ever get from me. Hey, maybe you should take some time off work. You're in no state to be working right now. I can see how exhausted you are.
I can't. Too many people depend on me. The nursing home is always short-staffed. Besides, work keeps my mind occupied.
At least take a break. You've been on shift for 12 hours straight. When was the last time you ate?
I had coffee this morning. I think.
Coffee isn't food. You've been like this since your nursing days. Always thinking of others, never yourself. Why not watch some TV or something? Take a real break.
The patients need me, especially Mr. Johnson in room 204. His condition is unstable.
There are other nurses. You don't have to carry everything alone. Not anymore. Just relax a bit. Please, for your own sake.
Listen, anyone can do that at home. You gave up your career to focus on raising your kid. I couldn't just abandon my responsibilities.
That was 20 years ago. Things are different now. Don't you have any regrets about giving everything up?
After John died, I had no choice. Besides, by then I'd accomplished what I wanted to, so I have no regrets. Raising Nicole became my joy. Or at least, I thought it was.
You don't have to pretend with me. I saw those messages she sent you. They were cruel.
She's under a lot of pressure. Academia can be brutal.
Stop making excuses for her. Yet she betrayed you pretty harshly. I really don't understand how she turned out this way. After everything you sacrificed.
Well, she is truly brilliant academically. I probably should have done more to keep her ego in check. Maybe I praised her too much, made her think she was special.
She is special, but not because of her grades. More than anything, you should have told her about your achievements, not just Nicole. You should tell the world more about what you've done. Stop hiding in the shadows.
No, that's not who I am anymore.
You've never been interested in that kind of recognition, but you invented medical devices that are used worldwide. Do you know how many patients have been saved because of you? How many lives you've touched? You should be proud. I still remember when they first implemented your designs. The whole medical community was buzzing.
But I was, working with taxpayer money in the research lab. The success was nice, but when you're paid for your work, giving it your all is just expected. Nothing special about that.
Remember when we first met in grad school? You were already making waves then. You're so rigid. Hard to believe such a rigid person raised such an entitled daughter. The Amy I knew was different.
Well, I might have been like Nicole when I was young, before reality hit.
Really? You think so?
Back then, I didn't think that way at all. About helping people, I just wanted to prove myself.
That's because you were exactly like her. You were especially confident, with big ambitions. You bulldozed your way forward, determined to succeed no matter what. But you learned humility along the way. Nicole hasn't had that chance yet.
Yeah, I guess so. Life has a way of teaching those lessons.
You know what I was thinking? About Nicole's research.
Nicole will figure it out eventually. She'll realize how powerless she is and how little she actually knows. Just like I did.
Beyond just academic ability, right? There's more to life than papers and patents.
Well, I just hope she learns before she loses too much.
She takes after you more than she knows. The determination, the drive, even the stubbornness.
Maybe too much. I see my younger self in her sometimes. It scares me.
As long as you're doing okay, that's what matters to me. You've given enough. Time to think about yourself. Call me anytime if you need to talk. Day or night. I mean it.
Thanks. See you in a few weeks. I have another shift starting soon.
Amy, wait. Promise me you'll eat something. Real food, not just coffee.
I promise. And Sarah, thank you for being here. For understanding.
Always. That's what friends are for. Now go get some food before your shift.
Nicole? That was you who came by the house earlier, wasn't it? I saw someone at the door through the window. Did something happen?
Just came to get my stuff. None of your business. I still had some boxes in the garage.
Hey, you could have told me. I would have helped you carry them.
Don't need your help. Don't want it either.
What happened? You seemed really upset. Did something happen with your fiancé? You can talk to me.
Shut up. It's none of your business. Leave me alone. Everything's messed up because of you. I was fine until you showed up at my door.
I haven't shown up anywhere. You came to my house. How is this my fault? What happened?
Because your low intelligence makes it impossible to relate to me. Because of that, I can't even think straight with you messaging me.
Hey, what happened? Talk to me. Whatever it is, we can figure it out.
Stop acting like you care. My research that I put my heart and soul into hit a dead end. 3 years of work. Gone.
I'm so sorry. Research setbacks can be devastating.
The professors who used to be so supportive won't even look at me anymore. Instead, they're bringing different equipment into the lab. equipment that should have been mine.
Different equipment? What do you mean?
A revolutionary medical device was just developed in my field. The whole medical world is buzzing about it. Our lab is already starting to apply the technology. They basically said spending any more time or resources on my research would be pointless. My project has been shelved. 3 years of my life wasted.
I see. That must be hard. But maybe there's another approach you could take.
Hard? That's just the beginning. This new medical device, it's exactly the same as an idea I rejected. An idea I thought was beneath me.
Oh? Tell me more about it.
The professor loved that idea and tried to convince me to pursue it. Of course, I struggled with the decision, but I just couldn't get excited about it. I convinced him to let me work on what I wanted instead. I was so sure I knew better.
So if you had chosen that path, you might be the one receiving recognition right now. That must be difficult to process.
My credibility in the department is shot. The professor is still nice to me, but I can tell he thinks I'm not worth his time anymore. Everyone knows I made the wrong choice. They're all talking about me.
That must be really difficult. But your current research could still lead somewhere new.
Difficult? If you and I were on the same intellectual level, this never would have happened. If I had better guidance growing up. If I had parents who understood academia.
What? How does that follow?
I was born to be a genius, but your genes held me back. My intelligence was compromised because I came from you. If I had better parents, I would have made the right choice.
So this is my fault too? Your research decisions are somehow my genetic failing?
Obviously. You weren't even a decent mother, so clearly. This is what happens when you're raised by someone who doesn't understand excellence. This is your responsibility.
No. You made your own choices. I won't take blame for that.
It's absolutely your fault, and nothing you say will change that. Everyone else had families supporting their research. I didn't have a proper family. Just you, working your meaningless job. So, if I wasn't your daughter, this would just be a setback, but because of you, it's a complete disaster.
Take a breath. Let's think this through. Lashing out at me won't solve anything. What's your next step?
Shut up. Stop acting superior. You don't know anything about research or academia. Never contact me again. This is all your fault.
Nicole, when you're ready to talk without blaming me, I'm here.
I don't need you. I never needed you. And now my fiancé agrees. He says I'm not the person he thought I was. That I'm a failure. Are you happy now?
I would never be happy about your pain. Never. But you need to take responsibility for your own choices.
I hate you. I hate everything about you. I hate that I came from you. Just leave me alone. Hey, Nicole. We just passed each other. Long time no see. Remember me? We exchanged contact info before. Sarah Mitchell. Yes, I remember. Your mom. We had dinner together once. I'm her childhood friend. That's right. You used to play with me when you were little. I used to bring you candy when I visited. Did I? That was a long time ago. What do you want? If Mom sent you... No one sent me. I saw how upset you looked when we passed, and your mom told me what happened. Sounds like you've been through a lot. Want to talk about it? You don't know the half of it. That mother of mine saddled me with a huge disadvantage. Growing up poor, forced to study in difficult conditions. always having to explain why my mother wasn't at school events, while other kids had proper families. Poor? I think Amy worked incredibly hard to make sure you never went without anything. You always had the best schools, the best opportunities. I watched her make sure of it. No, you don't understand anything. Don't act like you know what you're talking about. You weren't there. You didn't see how hard it was. You're right. I'm an outsider, but I know Amy never made things difficult for you. Who do you think paid for your education through grad school? Your research equipment? Your apartment? Whatever. Ugh. Well, obviously, parents are supposed to pay for that. That's the bare minimum. Other parents did so much more. There are plenty of people in this world who work their way through school. Amy recognized your potential and worked herself to the bone so you could focus entirely on your studies. You've never even had to work a part-time job, have you? That's because Amy covered everything from your tuition to your living expenses. Do you know how many hours she worked to make that happen? Look, if you're here to lecture me, do it somewhere else. I don't care. Fine, maybe she supported me financially, but the intellectual gap between us has been torture. Do you know what it's like to have a mother who can't understand your work? Intellectual gap? You think Amy is less intelligent than you? Oh, this is almost funny. Obviously. I struggled all alone in an unsupportive environment. You couldn't possibly understand that pain. Having to explain basic concepts. Having no one to discuss research with. Let's set aside my understanding for a moment. Amy worked harder than anyone. You probably don't know this, but Amy went to the same graduate school as you. She devoted herself to developing new medical devices and conducting research there as faculty. In fact, she worked in the same lab you're in now. What? That's impossible. I would have heard about it. Not just Amy. I learned so much there too. There might still be photos of Amy and me in the research lab. Check the old yearbooks. Look up the patent records. Really? You're not lying? This isn't some trick? Back then, Amy made a name for herself by inventing a groundbreaking medical device. That device is now essential in modern medicine, and everyone thought she was headed for an incredible career at such a young age. I was insanely jealous. It was crushing to watch. She was brilliant, unstoppable. Everyone knew she would change medicine forever. And then? What happened? Why didn't she? But Amy, who had just gotten married, lost the love of her life in an accident. Your father died in an accident. She couldn't recover and had to step away from research. Right after that, she found out she was pregnant. With you. Oh, I didn't know. She never told me about Dad. Or any of this. Yes. Amy raised you as a single mother. She worked multiple jobs as a nurse and caregiver to earn money. She gave up everything. Her career, her dreams, her recognition. But if she was famous for inventing medical devices, shouldn't she have had plenty of money? Patent royalties alone. No, Amy donated most of her money to scholarship foundations after setting aside what she needed to raise you. These foundations help promising students who can't afford their education. Many students have to give up their dreams due to financial circumstances. She wanted to help as many of them as she could. She believed in giving others the same chances she had. I see. But why? Why give it all away? Amy also donated to various nursing homes. She never thought about spending money on herself. Honestly, she's too selfless for her own good. Always thinking of others. Just like now. Right. Wait, is this story really true? It seems impossible. Of course. If you don't believe me, ask any of the older professors at Stanford. They couldn't possibly have forgotten Amy. Ask Professor Shen. He was her mentor. He still asks about her. But why would she keep all this from me? All these years? Amy wanted you to forge your own path. She chose to abandon her past and future to live solely for her daughter. You lived together for over 20 years. Surely you noticed how Amy never talked about herself. Because your life was everything to her. She didn't want her achievements to overshadow yours. But when you chose to pursue medicine, she was so happy. Seeing that, I realized she must have still harbored some attachment to her old dreams. She entrusted those dreams to you, though she never wanted to influence your choices. Why are you telling me this? Wouldn't Mom hate having this revealed? She clearly wanted it secret. Well, she'll probably be mad at me, but your attitude has been horrible. I wanted you to understand how much Amy loves you and how much she sacrificed for you. Even if Amy didn't want you to know, you needed to understand this. To see what real achievement looks like. I understand about Mom now. I've been so blind. So stupid. Then you know what you need to do, right? Make it right before it's too late. Hey, Mom. Can we talk? Please?
Mom, what's with the sudden change? Weren't we supposed to cut ties? Wasn't that your choice?
Yeah, but things are different now. I ran into Sarah earlier and we talked, and she told me everything about you. About who you really are.
About me? What are you talking about? What did Sarah say?
About your past and everything you've done for me. About your research, your inventions.
Whatever she told you must be nonsense. Don't believe it. That's ancient history.
I checked with the research lab. We were at the same grad school, in the same lab. Your name is still on the wall of honor. Why did you keep this secret? All these years.
That's not true. There must be some mistake. That was a different person, a different life.
Mom, it's okay to admit it now. After learning about you, I realized how childish I've been. You were a world-renowned medical device inventor who donated your earnings to scholarship foundations and nursing homes, all while raising me. You're the person I've been trying to become.
Sarah really told you everything, didn't she? She could never keep secrets.
So it is true. Why did you hide it from me? All those times I looked down on you, you could have said something.
Nicole, you have more important things to focus on. You need to continue your research without giving up. My past doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I want to apologize. Now I know you're so much more amazing than I ever imagined. You're exactly who I wanted to be.
Wait a minute. You want to apologize because you learned about my past? So if I hadn't accomplished anything, you wouldn't need to apologize? Think about what you're saying.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, yes, knowing about your achievements opened my eyes. But it's more than that.
But that's exactly what it is. The fact that those words came out first shows your true feelings. Nicole, you need to fundamentally reevaluate yourself. Focus on yourself. We're not family anymore, remember? Those were your words. Are you hoping I'll start supporting you financially again? That's not possible. You made your choice.
I'm not saying that, but I don't want to cut ties with you. And this whole thing made me realize my mistake. My fiancé dumped me too. Said I wasn't good enough for him. He was just a shallow jerk who only cared about appearances. He abandoned me so quickly. Just like I tried to abandon you.
then you should focus even more on your research. That's all I have to say. Goodbye. Let's stop communicating, okay? It's better this way.
Wait, Mom, please. Let's try again. I understand now.
No, understanding isn't enough. You need to change.
But I need you, especially now.
I don't want to be your curse anymore. You said I was holding you back, so I'm setting you free.
That wasn't how I really felt. I understand now how ridiculous those words were. I'm truly sorry. I want to apologize. So, please, give me another chance.
Really? Bringing this up now? I'm surprised you'd say such things after everything you said before.
I've realized how much I've taken you for granted. Please, let's be mother and daughter again. I need your guidance, your support.
That's not possible. To change yourself, you can't have me around. You've realized how much you've relied on me, so living without me is what it means to change. That's what I believe is best for you. You need to find your own path.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have told her without asking. But seeing her so lost...
I really can't believe you did that after all these years. Please don't ever do that again. But I guess keeping quiet would have been strange too. My past doesn't matter. Her own life is what's important. And while I appreciate her wanting to apologize after learning about my achievements, it feels like she's trying to have it both ways. This is kind of tough love too.
I see. So it's partly about teaching her a lesson, making her stand on her own. But I think Nicole genuinely wanted to express gratitude to you. This will make her reflect deeply, and that's enough. She's not weak enough to let this defeat her. She'll grow from this. I see. I really made a mess of things, didn't I? I didn't mean any harm. I just couldn't stand watching this anymore.
It's fine, don't worry about it. You're not weak enough to let this defeat you either. We all have to make hard choices sometimes. This is mine. After that, I blocked Nicole's number. I really cut all ties with her. Though it was painful for me too, I believed this was best for Nicole. She's not a child anymore, and I trust that she'll reflect on this experience and throw herself into her work again. Maybe I was too lenient with her before. She's probably working to support her research now, and I hope she continues to work hard. Sarah is still my trusted friend. She occasionally tries to update me about Nicole, but I refuse to listen. If Nicole succeeds, I'm sure I'll be hearing about it directly. Sarah thinks I'm being ridiculous, but this is my new way of being a mother to my daughter.